What is going on, y'all? Psych Perspectives, Geo Fucks here, or Geo Fucks, because I feel like this is gonna go on the Geo Fucks channel, but it could go on either channel really. But in this video, I'm basically discussing what I like to call toxic hookup culture, because in my opinion, this casual sex hookup culture, even though I love sex, I've had casual sex, I've had hookups, just to give a disclaimer, I'm a transgendered, trans masculine man, born intersex, and I identify as a gay, queer, pansexual person, human being. And I want to make this video because I started having sex, consensual sex, August of 2019, when I was 26, basically 2 months shy of turning 27. And I'm 29, 2.5 months shy of turning 30. So I haven't really been participating in this that long. It'll be 3 months next month, or 3 years next month since I started having sex. And I've had my share of hookups. I've had my share of casual sex. I've used the different LGBTQ plus hookup apps and dating apps such as Grindr, Jack, what have you, Scruff. More so Grindr than Jack or Scruff. And in my experience over the past 3 years, I can honestly say, to me, hookup culture is toxic. Because, first of all, yes, there are people who just want to have sex, and there's nothing wrong with just wanting to have sex. Wham, bam, thank you, and moving on. You got your nut, you got your orgasm, you climaxed, and boom, I'm out the door. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that if that's what you want. The problem is the fact that, number one, most people, arguably, who are participating in this type of, hookup and everything else, they are not using protection. They're not using condoms, contraceptives. They're not using birth control. They're not getting tested to make sure they know their status if they have an STD or an STI. And it's just, again, it just doesn't make much sense to me. If you're going to be engaging in casual sex, you need to be getting tested on a regular basis, getting full STD, sexually transmitted disease panels, right? You're getting your oral swab, your anal swab, your vaginal swab, blood work, urine sample. You need to be doing that. You also, in my opinion, need to be on PrEP, regardless of your sexuality, regardless of your gender. Okay, there's way too many STDs, STIs out here to just not be making sure that you're getting tested. Number two, a lot of people who are participating in hookup culture, and I'm guilty as well, a lot of people that are participating in hookup culture aren't really necessarily wanting just casual sex. A lot of people want to have actual relationships, real bonds, real connections. People want to have more than just sex. But yet, hookup culture has us thinking that we can't have feelings for people. We can't have deeper bonds. We can't really connect with folks because everything is rooted around sex. And then when you do have deeper feelings, or you want more than just to be somebody's, friends with benefits, and then you're seen as being too much. Now, granted, I'm non-monogamous. I'm not trying to be in a committed monogamous relationship. It would be nice to have somebody that you talk to, you talk about your goals, your hopes, your wishes, your dreams. You spend time together, you hang out. They care about you, you care about them. And having sex is just like the cherry on the top. It's like the added bonus. But I'm noticing within the LGBTQ plus community, particularly within the gay community, it doesn't really seem to be much relationship and having a form or a deeper bond. Everything is literally about this. And that's it. And it's like, I'm sorry, but that gets old and it gets boring, and it's ridiculous that we're made to feel like that's the only thing that we can have in the gay community is just random sex, and then wondering why we have some of the highest rates for STDs and STIs when literally this is the lifestyle that we are following. Okay, I'm just going to put it for what it is. You're not trying to have a better connection. You don't want to get to know people. And then on top of that, everybody is so, including myself, this is why I'm making this video, because it's also me calling myself out and holding myself accountable. And then it's also me calling out the gay community and humans in general. Everybody is so broken and traumatized from previous relationships that we're going into these. That's why so many of us have this, well, fuck love, I'm not really interested in getting to know you, I'm just here to get my nut and bye. And a lot of that is trauma. Okay, you're hurt, you're broken, and you refuse to work on yourself and heal. I'm just gonna be real. And a lot of us use sex as a coping mechanism. It's no different than somebody constantly drinking and smoking or using other drugs and substances. You're using it as a coping mechanism. And a lot of times, especially within the LGBTQ plus community, pertaining to gay people, gay men in particular, because of the homophobia, the only time you really get intimate or like any like physical touch, any of that is when you're having sex. So for a lot of people, you'll see it. People be making out, tonguing down people they have never met. But it's a hookup and they just getting all of this. And you would think that they were in love with this person the way they're making out with them. And meanwhile, you just met this person off of a random app. And then it really hits you. A lot of us are lonely. We don't have any physical touch. We don't have any real bonds or relationships. No real support or love. No real connections. And it's lonely. It is what it is. Your whole life is evolved around somebody binging you on Jack or Grindr, and that's it. You ain't going on dates. You're not getting to know the person. They not getting to know you. It's just that. And granted, if that's all you want, that is okay and cool, do you. But it can be argued, most of us are not interested in just being somebody's booty call. And we all know that. And the fact that we're made to make it seem like we don't have feelings and we don't care and we don't want something more is ridiculous. Another issue with casual sex is that, again, it gets boring because you know that there's nothing coming from this. You know what I mean? You know there's nothing coming for this, and it gets really boring. And I'm just going to be honest, and maybe it's just me, but I'm just going to be honest. I sit up and I look at my cisgendered heterosexual friends and family members, and they're in relationships, they're getting married, they're getting engaged, they're constantly talking about, my partner did this for me, and I'm buying this for my partner, where we're going to the movies, where we're going on vacation. And then you look at us in the gay community and it's just like, and don't get me wrong, there are people in the LGBTQ plus community and in the gay community that are having loving, committed relationships and bonds and spending time with people and doing more than just hooking up. But overwhelmingly, that does not seem to be the norm. And then when you add in being a transgendered individual, a lot of times we're literally just, it is what it is. We're sexualized and we're fetishized. Outside of sex, they're not really interested in getting to know you. And it's very blatant. And it's like, I'm just going to be honest. This is me just keeping it real. It hurts because it's like, damn, are we not worthy of love, compassion, support, being seen in public, being loved and respected out loud? Like, it just gets really old, and it's dehumanizing, and there should be more to life than just hooking up with random strangers. I'm just going to be honest, And then, like I said, we're only getting older. So I'm looking at myself like, I don't want to be doing this in the next 5 to 10 years. I would want something a little more concrete than just random people that hit me up on an app. And again, I'm non-monogamous, so I'm not looking for a committed monogamous relationship. However, you can be non-monogamous and still have a partner or partners. And I don't think people get that. We still crave relationships and bonds and support and love, and you feel me, outside of just sleeping around with random people that we don't know. You feel me? Like, damn. You know, it wouldn't hurt to go on a date. It wouldn't hurt to go get something to eat. You know, and I don't think people get that. And then it's just getting boring. I'm just going to be honest. And I've only been doing this for 3 years. Now think about people, that's all they do. Their entire life is just spent around hooking up. I don't see how y'all do it. I respect you because that's your decision. That's your choice. That's your right. That's your life. Do you? But for me, basically 3 years in, this is boring as hell. It's boring. You know what I mean? And then on top of that, I'm getting to the point where, okay, I have sex. It feels good during that moment. But afterwards, I'm just blah. I'm empty. I'm just blah. There's no real, like, it's just boring. It is what it is. It's boring. And I want more than just a damn hookup. And then what gets me is the whole friends with benefits things. Again, y'all are not providing the friendship. All you're doing is providing the sex. Because friends with benefits is more than you just linking up for sex. It's called friends with benefits. As in, you should also be going out to eat, hanging out, seeing each other during the day, going to the movies, going on bike rides, going to the bar, you know, going camping, going hiking, doing something besides just fucking, okay? If that's the case, then it is just a hookup. There is no FWB there. There's no friendship. That's just it. A lot of people in these casual hookups act like you can't have no type of relationship or any type of compassion or concern about the person that you're having sex with. And it's just really wild to me that some of us have that mindset. You know, and it's old. And again, like I said, I'm about to be 30 this year. I'm getting older. And I'm just not really seeing how this is beneficial to me. It's just not. You know, and like I said, you're sitting back looking at your cishet counterparts. And they done been married for 4, 5, 6 years, 7 years. They getting engaged. They starting families. They starting businesses with their partner, their significant other, their spouse, their lover, what have you. They're having children. They're starting families. They're doing all of these things. And then I look at us within our community, and all we seem to talk about is, do you have poppers? You know, can I eat your ass? And all this, like, and granted, if that's what you like, cool. But for me, it's boring. Like, come on. This is played out. And there's more to life than just being somebody damn booty call. And I'm just being real. That's how I personally feel at this moment. Like, damn. You know, like, it would be nice to have somebody like, hey, I'm just checking in to see how, you know, everything's going on with work. You know, I know it's lunchtime. Would you want to go for lunch? Or can I, you know, DoorDash you something or whatever? I don't have any of that. Like, I look back and I'm like, damn, I don't really have anybody that cares about me on that type of level. And I've never had that. And I feel like for a lot of us in the trans community, it's unfortunately kind of the damn norm. You know, because a lot of times people don't want to deal with us. And they use the whole it's my preference to justify being discriminatory against an entire population of people. Yet, it's their preference not to date us, but it's their preference to fuck us, right? Like, go make that make sense, right? Like, I don't deal with trans people, but at 2 o'clock in the morning when I'm horny, I'm gonna deal with you. So it just gets really old, and you really get tired of it after a while. But at the same time, like, you're a human being, you get horny, you know what I mean? So, but that's why I'm like, shit, it's just time to invest more into the sex toys. Because it's just getting to the point where this is just really boring, you know? And it's just, and then now with monkeypox and COVID and other STDs, STIs, and them taking away, overturning Roe versus Wade and trying to take away access to reproductive health and rights and everything else, it's dangerous to be sitting out having casual sex with any and every damn body. Like, you're putting yourself at risk every time you engage, and it is what it is. And the fact that we also want to sit up here and gaslight ourselves and say, well, it's, you know, you can get it from anywhere, blah, 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 blah. This is true. You can be in a monogamous, committed relationship and still get an STD, STI, unwanted pregnancy. However, it's kind of obvious, in my opinion, that if you're having multiple sex partners with multiple different people, the likelihood of you catching something is going to be significantly higher than that with a person who's in a committed relationship. I'm just going to be real. It's kind of common sense after a while. But we love to gaslight ourselves and tell each other that, well, ain't nothing wrong with blah, 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 and you can still get, and this is true. You can still get an STD, STI, unwanted pregnancy in a committed monogamous relationship, or if you're only dealing with one person. However, if I'm having sex with 10 people, the likelihood that one of those 10 people has an STD is rather high. Okay, so I'm putting myself at more risk, obviously. And I don't have a problem with acknowledging that and taking responsibility for that. I'm not going to gaslight myself and try to make it seem like this isn't going to potentially cause more risk for me. That's the thing. I think a lot of us like to live in denial. And I'm not doing that. Because you're putting yourself in danger when you do that, in my opinion. But if that's what you want to do, by all means, go ahead, because you're going to do it anyway, right? But it's just like, whoa. When you sit down and you look at some of these situations, it's just like, what is this? Like, you don't care how I feel, what I'm going through. You don't know if I'm on prep. You don't know if I have an STD and STI. You just want to get some boy pussy. And that's it. And then in the same breath, get mad at you if you have other people that you're talking to. But yet, we not in a relationship, so why does it matter? That's another thing. But I feel like that's more cis men being indoctrinated in toxic masculinity and being very controlling and hypocritical. Because again, we not together, but you trying to police who I sleep with. But if I was to do that to you, you would check me right away and put it in my face that we're not together. But it's okay for you to do that to me. That's bullshit. Okay, but yes, I just think that it's just getting old and I'm not interested in this anymore. And I want to give a shout out to my homie, Mr. Westernizer. I saw your video today and I agree. It's like, I would rather have a relationship than to just be having random sex with someone. It would be nice to have a relationship where you actually care about the person and the person cares about you, and y'all are having sex, than for me to just be out here on the app looking for something. Not to mention that when you're in a relationship, you typically are able to have consistent sex often because you have that person and they have you. Granted, you still got to have consent, but that's just it. If you have a significant other, you often are more likely to have more consistent sex versus trying to hook up with random ass people. I'm just being real, and that's just at least how I view it. But this video is definitely going to go on GeoFucks. I might post it on Site Perspectives, but yeah, it's boring for me. It's boring for me, and I'm tired of it. I'm not really getting anything out of this as far as I'm concerned. Because like I said, it feels good at the moment, but like afterwards, I'm just kind of like, okay, what was the point? I could have stayed home. Like, on some real shit, I could have stayed home. But anyways, I just wanted to make a video on that real quick. And I probably will have more videos on this subject soon. Stay tuned.